Hi everyone, this is Misha Gerik, the storyteller from South Africa, live and kind of awake, sort of. But today's been a rough day, so bear with me. I hope I will be able to be coherent, but it is the 1st of July, which means that it is the start of quarter three of 2023. And it also means it's a good time to actually take stock and just look things over a little bit and decide where we're at and where we want to go. So, with that in mind, I thought I would actually just do a quick video about how I go about the planning and evaluation of my planning. And just to kind of show you guys, because I know some of you might be watching this from the Life Project, which is a book that I am writing on Wattpad at the moment about basically taking project management principles and applying it to your life in order to, get shit done and make things better. So, with that in mind, I'm going to step up and bring in Trello. I use Trello as my project management software of choice because it is fantastic, and even the free version is just beautiful. So I yeah, basically I've already started with the life project, so as you can see, this is very well populated. But today what I want to quickly do is just scan over this and just make sure that I'm still on the right track and see what I've achieved, see what I want to achieve, and so forth and so on. And as it comes up, I will just pop up some tips basically for how to make the most out of your Trello. Um, and even then, I think I don't always make the most of it, but I basically believe that Trello is designed for you to use it the way that you want to use it. So I'll basically be showing how I make use of it, and hopefully you guys will find it useful in some way. So with that in mind, I'll also kind of walk you through the process of how I apply project management tools to my life and how that is relevant. So, starting with that, I think I'm just going to jump right in because I see no one's dropped in today. I know it's a little bit busy. I managed to also choose the day where everyone's camp nanoing and everyone is doing things like marathons and writing marathons and productivity things, and it's just rough. So yeah, just if you are dropping in, do say hi and let me know, like, if you are someone who's very goal orientated, or where you found the stream from and all those things, because that's always interesting to me as well. Okay, so um let me just check what is going on. We are good. Okay. I will be checking in regularly for if someone asks questions or anything like that. All right. So basically, how I started this whole thing. I basically in November 2022 just realized that I don't want my life to be the way that it was at that stage. I wasn't happy. Um, and that was partially, I guess, it was like fallout from a very, very, very rough time in my life. I'm not going to go into detail because I do go into considerable detail in uh, the life project, so I'm not going to do it here. But basically, the thing is I just kind of came to a day where I'm like, is this what my life is going to be? And no. So I basically set this goal of improving the quality of my life, and then I brainstormed the themes. So there are different ways in project management that they refer to these, but I call them themes because I just felt the name fit better. So themes would be rough groupings of things that I need to focus on for my life to basically, it's not really my life improving, but the quality of it. So, for example, I was really getting stuck in a groove and getting a little bit like frustrated with myself because I felt like I was existing more than living. So I realized that there were a few things that I need to sort out and to pay attention to if I wanted to live more rather than just exist. And that's basically where these themes came from. Um, I broke them down into. Okay, so wait, let me slow down. Okay, so when I set up the themes, I basically created an Eisenhower matrix, which I will show you now. Let me just pop over to Miro, if it would open Miro, and then I will show you guys. So an Eisenhower matrix looks like this. It's a matrix of importance versus urgency, which means that you can have something that's important and urgent. You can have something that's less urgent but still important. And then you can have less important but still urgent. So let me just point. So, okay, less urgent but less important. And then something that is neither urgent nor important. And then you basically, what I did here is the themes that I had, I basically arranged them by order of urgency and importance. So financial stability is very important and urgent at the moment. And it will remain so because basically finance, I'm not really money orientated, but I find that having finances is a very good, like one of my friends calls it a hygiene factor. If my financial stability is in a good situation, my whole life just gets easier. So um and less stressful because I can do more things. So and the other thing about this is that a lot of the other stuff that I want to do um around recreation, for example, or creativity, or um any hobbies, stuff like that requires at least a little bit of money. So financial stability is always important. Physical health, mental health uh, remains urgent and important because it's a it's both of those basically I've been neglecting until last year, and now I'm working my way back, but I've done quite a lot of damage to the point where I've almost thought I was going to die at some stage because of it. So this year has been a bit rough, but I am improving my mental and physical health, but those two will remain. So these three are still my three core themes that I kind of need to focus on, because if I don't get this little trinity sorted out, it's just at a holistic level, it just affects everything else. So I have to keep them sorted out. Then let me just check if anyone has popped in. Not yet, but I'll just keep going because this is also for people wanting to watch back on playback. So next up is less urgent but still important. So for me, this would be things like my faith. I'm not really going to go into it because it's not the platform right now for me to do that, but faith, creativity, relationships, and expansion. Now, expansion is actually more around like learning new skills or learning new things, reading more, watching different kinds of TV shows, watching shows in different languages, stuff like that. So it's just kind of to just expand my mind in whatever healthy way I can find. Relationships is everything. It covers everything from like humans to pets to whatever. So also like even things like social networking I put under relationships. Faith is faith, and creativity is stuff like my writing, my storytelling, stuff like performing arts, any kind of art form, any kind of art and craft kind of thing. All that stuff goes under creativity, and these are important. They are going to start becoming more urgent as time passes, but for now, the financial stability part of this still remains a bit still at the front of mind. But as these things start easing out and I have them sorted out, especially things like the creativity and expansion, I know myself well enough to know that drive to create, that drive to learn new things and master new things, it will come back. So I know they will shift up, but I'm not quite there yet. So I think I'm happy with keeping this here. And then recreation obviously is just chilling out. I have it under urgent but less important. Now I'm wondering if this one should stay here. So the reason why it was under urgent was that at that stage, when I was setting this up, I was still very much suffering from physical and mental and emotional exhaustion. And it's still there. Basically, my exhaustion actually took a physical form in the what they call adrenal fatigue, where my body doesn't produce the right amount of adrenaline to respond to certain situations, which means that at one stage, when I set this up, I had like maximum of 2 hours where I could concentrate on any given thing because I would just be too tired afterwards. So I am feeling better. I am at the place where I can actually now push through for a little bit longer if I have to, and I have. There were parts of it where I did actually work full-time hours. So it is improving. And so I don't really have to put this under urgent in the sense that um hmm, it's basically oh, this one is actually more of a dilemma than I thought. But basically the way I'm thinking about it is that it's not as urgent anymore, but it's also not really unurgent. So to put it over there feels a little bit silly because if it's neither urgent or important, why would I do it? So, you know what? I'm actually going to, oops, just change, sorry, just log this in. Hey, come in. Oh, rot. Okay, so I'm not. Let me just give me a sec. Going to share this tab instead for a second so that I can sign in. Because I did not realize that I need to sign in. No. Let me just check. Okay. I'm in. Okay. Share this tab instead. You see, oh, someone's watching. Hello. Not sure who it is, but do leave me a comment. Let me know if I'm going too fast or you have any questions or anything like that. Please do drop me a comment. Anyhow, so why are we reconnecting? Reload. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to actually, yes, go away. Why with all the messages? Okay, so I'm going to take this recreation and I'm going to chuck it here somewhere. I'm going to leave it here somewhere. So just so that I know that it's under the less urgent but important, because before it was less important than kind of getting these other things, but now it's kind of getting to the same level of importance, but it's also not as urgent as the others because I have rested, I have recuperated to a large extent. So I'm going to kind of just put it over there for now. So with that said, I think I'm happy with where this is at, and I think that means that I don't actually even have to reevaluate the order here. Yep, so that's basically the order in which everything is supposed to remain. Let me just move to the stats so that you guys can follow along. Sorry for jumping around a bit. And yes. Okay, so now starts the first evaluation thing. I think what I'm going to do, at least for now, is I just want to kind of scroll through things and see where we're at with all this stuff. So with this, what I did then with the themes is after I've brainstormed the themes and put them in an order, I then went and created a list of things I have to do. So this is kind of a sub project in a sense where you have around this theme, what are we actually doing around this to create a financial stability. So one option at that stage for me was to either find a full-time, very stable corporate job or something along those lines, or for me, in my case, I decided to take another route of staying, paying, giving honor to my entrepreneurial spirit and just finding ways to generate multiple sources of income. So the main one that I've been working on has been this freelance contract work, and I am still working in that. Uh, Publishing and dissemination of stories. I'm just going to go through them: interest, dividends, rent, angel investment, business startup, cover, graphic design, sales, merch, patronage, consultation, teaching, training. So these are basically just stuff I came up with as a source of income. I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, the first 5 of them are ones that I am focusing on right now because these will the freelance contract work is very much already ongoing, as I've been freelancing since 2016. So I want to keep doing that at least for now, but with the view of incorporating publishing and dissemination of stories as a source of income in the future. And why I'm saying it that way is that I don't necessarily only want to publish anymore. Um, More on that later, but I have other ideas about how I want to use storytelling as a way to share stories, but like in different formats and stuff. So, but the publishing and sharing of stories, interest, dividends, and rent, those are kind of the ones that I want to build out more now at the moment. Because the interesting, or not the interesting, but the important thing here is that it's a passive income, which is to say that this one, freelance contract work, you have to kind of keep at it the whole time, and it's not scalable past a certain point, at least not in my case. So it can only generate a certain, you can increase your rates at the risk of not having as many clients, but you can't work more than a certain amount of hours. Well, you can, but then you're going to put yourself in a situation like I did, where you just like exhaust yourself to the point where you're useless for almost a year. Um, these will then basically, this is scalable, where the more you put in, the more you get out, and the more you get out, the more goes in, which means you put even more in. So it's a nice one. The others are kind of things that I am interested in, and that I think could be fun for me to do as a hobby that makes me money, if I can put it that way. So I will get into them at some stage, but for now, I want to say the top 5 are my most immediate objectives. Um, and I am kind of busy with those, but it's been a bit. You see, the problem with the freelance contract work, it's not really a problem, it's also a blessing. I've been very busy until very recently, and then everyone went on holiday because it's summer vacation and everyone wants to chill out after COVID. So there we go. um, uh, I'm kind of on a forced leave at the moment, And that is giving me a chance to kind of evaluate all this stuff and decide what I want to do. So that's financial stability. Um, Physical health, oops, mental health. Physical health, lose weight, eat better, improve your fitness, improve body strength, get enough sleep, and improve overall immune system. So that is basically I'm working on all of them at the moment. We're eating better. I'm moving around a lot more. Body strength, I'm not really happy with that one yet, but I'll get there. Sleep, I'm getting enough sleep. And the immune system, working on it, but it's a work in progress because that one is giving me, because of the exhaustion, is giving me a bit of a pain in the neck. Mental health, counseling, I haven't yet, but I haven't yet felt an intense urge to yet. I know the time is coming where I have to do it. So, because it's short version of a long story is that I do have a lot of trauma that I need to deal with. But at the moment, I've been doing a lot of mindfulness meditation, and that kind of is helping me process a lot. So I still need to do the counseling thing, but at the moment, the main thing for the counseling would more to be actually to check my medications rather than actual getting a psychologist. So I would probably need something like a psychiatrist instead. Creativity. Basically, so as you can see, there's like a whole lot of stuff. I'm not going to go through each thing because these are now we're out of the top three. So I'm going to stick to the top three for now. Um, and then go from there. I'm just quickly checking messages. Still don't have anything. Uh, mm, 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 mm. Then what I did is you might notice that get enough sleep, for example, you might notice mindfulness. So basically, I got all of these sub projects are actually these cards, or these little checkpoints, but as cards. So I created them and color coded them, and now here you can see this is color coded to yellow, so it's physical health, mental health, etc., etc. So, and this is kind of where I started going into the nitty gritty a bit more. So I actually analyzed the importance of all these things according to another Eisenhower matrix. So let me just see if I can do that one. Open in Miro. Okay, this one I can see is actually going to be. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Looking at the mirror, let me just pop over here. So we're back to the Eisenhower matrix. So urgent and important, less urgent but important, urgent but less important, neither urgent nor important. So basically, the way to think about it, this is priority one, priority two, priority three, and either not prioritized at all or priority four. And oh, it's my cat. Sorry. Heard a funny noise. So yeah, so this has changed actually a lot. I'm seeing this. So okay. I'm not going to go through each one with you guys because that's just going to make it very, 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 very slow. But what I am going to do. But yeah, now what I did with these is like each one has like its own little thing. And no, gosh. Okay, so I'm just going to start moving things around. As you can see, these cards are also all color coded. Mm. You know what? This actually, I'm lying to myself. This is actually urgent and important. So I'm going to keep those where they are. Um, so basically, it just goes to show it's good to actually look these things over every now and then. Um, basically, all of these things are. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, so this one needs to go to the top though. Yep. All right. So publishing dissemination. This has since changed a bit where this is a lot more important now. Sorry, I've got an itch. Um, sorry, I'm just quickly scanning through here to make sure. Yeah. Okay. So I can. This bit is going to be. Bring to front. There we go. Okay. So. Yeah. Basically, I analyzed all of these things and put them by order of importance and um, went from there. And just quickly scanning. Yeah, okay. So I think this is okay now. Um, and we can actually, while I'm here, actually come to the next important thing, which is RAID mitigation. So RAID stands for risk assumption issue dependency. I put it in the order that it is in here, saying assumption risk dependency issue, because that is actually the way they develop. So an assumption is something that you assume will be in place that will allow for something to happen. A risk is a chance that something might not take place that the way it should, and it will negatively impact what you are trying to do. A dependency is something that if this thing is not in place, something else can't happen. And an issue is basically if that risk becomes a real thing and now it's impacting your project. So this is basically the order of how bad it is. These two are still hypotheticals. Dependencies and issues are now real things and they are affecting the situation. So basically, what raid mitigation is about is I basically have a statement. So I will show an example of this now, but you have a statement and then the mitigation measures. So for example, let me just quickly show a quick one. Freelance contract work. Assumption, I will be in good enough health to keep working. And then the mitigation would be to improve mental health, improve physical health. And this starts to show, and this is where it actually becomes interesting to do project management, because here one begins to see that it's all interrelated. So you can't have financial stability without good health. Because if this thing is not in place, you have an issue. Uh, then uh, another nice one here is I will keep finding work and staying afloat. And then assumption would be to either find more work or to build lead generators. And this one is actually really important. So I will actually be updating all this stuff, but I was actually hoping more people would be here and I could interact a bit more and give everyone a chance to kind of see how this works. And then risk here, moderate to high impact risk. So here I actually gave it a rating. It's basically to say that the risk is moderate, it might not happen, but the impact of it happening is huge. So all this work is dependent on equipment such as laptops, cell phones, etc., and theft and loss of equipment could have a very, very bad effect on any of my goals. So the solution would be, or not solution, but the mitigation measure is to look into comprehensive cover and or to put away money to replace obsolete equipment as they start breaking down. Uh, so yeah, so basically I'm just quickly scanning, but it just gives an idea of what RAID mitigation is about. And what that also does is that if you know what RAID is, it also could potentially move, for example, improving immune system health up into a higher importance or urgency when you look at the Eisenhower matrix, because of the fact that you are yeah, it just makes it more important. If health is more important because of the fact that it also impacts something else, especially if it's in that top three trinity of important things, then it becomes more important to sort out your health first. So that knowing that already gave me a much more stronger idea of what needed to be done first before I could do anything else. So from there, okay, after that, um, knowing this information, because now knowing with what the RAID is, basically I went through each of these things. I think there's 53 of them. I can't remember exactly. Let me just check. 59. So there are 59 of these sub projects, which are these yeah, basically these little cards from the themes. And those basically then I went, and they were at first, they were in the same order as the life themes were, so by color basically. And then I went and I did the next thing, which is a value versus effort matrix. So how you do that is you mark, this one is a bit different. You could put it in a matrix similar to the Eisenhower matrix, but we have what we call an a power up on Trello, where you can actually put the effort impact matrix into as buttons. So you can say not a lot of effort, but it has a high impact, and then it works out what this is. And you can actually then order things according to the whether it's low. The first prize is low effort, maximum impact. So the less work you do for more impact, the better it is, which means you want to do those first because it's going to take the least amount of effort, least amount of energy, and it's still going to give you the best amount of impact. So basically, I went through all of them, and then I ordered them according to first what their score would be. So low effort, high value things came at the top. Then came the let me just think. Sorry, it's late. I just need to think about this for a second. High effort, high return. So in other words, it's things that's going to take a lot of work, but it gives you high value for whatever reason. So an example of this that I can think of is writing a book, for example. It takes a lot of effort, but it's worth it to me. So I would always keep doing it no matter how high the effort is. Then number 3 would then be low effort, low impact. So that's stuff that's like basically filler work. And the last one is high effort, low impact. and that one is also one you want to kind of avoid because an energy drain without really giving you any returns for your effort. So I basically this number one and etc. that's here is actually where it is on the Eisenhower matrix. So doing that, I could then use both the Eisenhower matrix and the effort value matrix to just basically rank these from top to bottom. Um, so for now, I'm going to keep this as is, and yeah, I think that's going to be fine. I just need to check the writing stuff because that's now, yeah, you see it's high. This can actually go to the top now because I did move this, so it's number one. The reason why it's important to do this, I'll show you guys in a second. I just want to find the right place for it. So basically, if you look, for example, at this, this is at the first quadrant of the Eisenhower, and it's actually in the first quadrant of the effort impact matrix. And so is freelance contract work and publishing and dissemination now, although this is in second. So, but I'm going to put it in this order because this is actually so important that I want to get to this very quickly. But the reason why these four things are basically on the same spot, but I put them in this particular order, is that, like I mentioned before, is when you look at financial and contract work, almost all of these things are affected by health things. So, in other words, your RAID, the risk assumption issue dependency work that you need to do is all based around health, which means that health becomes slightly more important in the scope of things than just the making money. So that's why these are top three, because you have to make time for your health stuff if you want to make this stuff happen. And that's basically, so that's where we're at. Yeah, and basically I've been talking through because I've actually been looking how I've been doing at this while I'm talking, and I think I'm actually not too bad. I have, especially with the health stuff, I took quarter one, so this year, January to March, I focused on establishing a proper sleeping pattern because that was completely screwed up. And then quarter two, so until very recently, I focused on changing my health, my physical health. So, more in terms of things like exercising more, doing more physical work, eating better, stuff like that. So, unfortunately, I already changed it before now, so and archived the cards, so I can't show you guys, but just take my word for it. But yeah, so these two are still, or these three are still important, and I'm keeping them right where they're at. But now we're getting into what I call focusing on, but it's basically what you would call like a quarterly goal. And that was what I was talking about. First one, get enough sleep. Second one, move around more. Now, third one is basically now around, we're getting into freelance contract work territory. And I am basically now getting into a stage where I want to get my company, which is Five Muses Press, just into a shape that I want it to be. It's actually a long story as to why it's not. But the basic thing is I started freelancing, and in the beginning I had to market quite heavily, and I was very busy with social networking and stuff like that. And based on that, I got a lot, and I mean a lot, of freelance work. So much so that I ran out of time and couldn't do anything for myself anymore. And I had to change that. So I I kept giving up more and more of my own stuff in favor of freelance work because I wanted to make money. And because I wanted to make money, I screwed up my health. I screwed up a lot of other things. Like, I made mistakes, were made, bad decisions were made back then. And, that's how you learn. So I'm okay with that, but I do want to fix this. So there are some things that I want to do that I have to do. Um, and because I am, after all, a freelancer who says that she is a branding consultant, but she doesn't do her own marketing. So that's just, it can't fly. It's not going to fly anymore. So basically, I set myself some goals here, which some of them are related almost directly to this little area here. Some of them a little lower down and so on. But basically, I need to create a communications plan. I need to implement the communications plan. I need to run my author accounts, and I need to get everything in place so that I can generate a certain amount of money, which you guys can see is this amount. This comes to about, let me just quickly mental calculation. I think it's $1,250 is basically my aim per month. Because if I can do that, I'm on a stable financial footing that I don't need to. I can do more if I want, but I don't have to do more than I want, and that's important. So I that's what I'm working towards, and that's going to be my aim for the next 3 months, maybe 6 months, depending on how much progress I make. But I feel like this needs to be my area of focus for the next 3 months so that I can get this done. Because last month, or I've started already, but it's been slow. It's been slow going, and I need to devote a bit more energy to it. Right. So, and this is now where we get to the why putting everything in the right order and having raid mitigation planned and all that stuff is important. And hi, I see there's someone watching on Twitch. So hi, welcome to the stream. Do leave me a comment. Let me know what you're up to. How are you doing? How's life treating you? All the interesting things. I want to get to know all of my peeps who watch. All right, so okay. Now we get to the fun things. So basically, every basically, I want to say every week, but it's not always every week. It depends on how much I have on my list. Like right now, I think my list is oh, sorry, wrong one. Move. Yeah, 77 things. So there's still yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that I still need to do, but all of these things, I basically literally go. I open this, I move it here. So this is actually what this for in plan or postpone for later is for, because I actually double check that every single thing I at least look at it and then post it and write down something in relation to that for the upcoming week, month, fortnight, depending on what I'm aiming for. So as you can see, some of these things do multiple things. So, for example, engage sensors and anchor. I will talk about this a little bit in a while, but it's related to recreation, mental health. It's actually more, it's physical, it's creativity. I'm actually going to make this about everything. La, 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 la. Even already. Okay. So, but anyway, so then I go this one. So improve immune system overall health. Then what I actually do is I go healthier eating habits. Okay. I'm just going to show. I'm not going to do all of them now because I realize that's going to be incredibly boring. Done. Okay. All right. So but literally, I'm going through these now because I want to just show you guys at the practical level. Sorry. I don't know where this heartburning feeling is coming from. And why I am saying done here, I just want to show. So, for example, regular fresh air. I am getting that by going to feed my dog. And I am feeding the dog every day, morning and evening. And while I do that, I also, yes, the dog's name is Chewy. So I feed him, I play with him for at least 30 minutes. Doing that, I walk around and, just it's just chill out with the puppy, so it's always nice. But yeah, I think, hey, I think I'm actually getting on top of my RD medication. Yeah, that is very cool. Okay, and uh, yeah. So for example, with this, just to show, because this is improve immune system or overall health. So overall health implies mental, physical, emotional, basically everything, just at a holistic level. And a major issue I was dealing with is I'm dealing with high levels of exhaustion that make it an uphill task to exercise regularly, which was a problem. And then I said, start with small, low intensity activities that can grow into something more intensive as I gain strength. So this one is in progress. Um, but it is, for example, playing with a dog, taking short walks, doing more physical work. I've also started doing Pilates, although I'm not quite the reason that's the Pilates is actually the reason why this is in progress and not complete, because I have not yet quite made Pilates part of a ritual or a daily routine, where I can actually say that I'm doing it with any reliable amount of regularity, although the physical part of the more cardio things where I walk around more and stuff I am doing. This is done. Yay, I'm doing well. Done. Sorry, I'm just celebrating a bit because you have to celebrate the wins. Eat dinner before 8 p.m. Done. This is just for routine stuff because if you eat dinner before 8 p.m., you get to sleep a lot easier around 10. So, walk or do some sort of exercise every day. Done. Respect the sleeping routine, lights out by 9 p.m. Yes, and I've become quite religious about this. So I am on top of this. Ooh, that is awesome. So I'm moving around more and I am getting enough sleep. So the only one that's left is strengthening my core, which is basically Pilates. Ha! All right. So, but now I basically look at all this and I go, okay, so Pilates is already in my schedule, so I don't have to plan anything else. It is here. As you can see, I have failed to do it yet again, but now I remember that I have to do it. So I'm going to move this to tomorrow. And yeah, I'm just going to do the one example for now because, again, I don't want to put people to sleep. Okay, so but yeah, just to kind of give another example, just to show. So I want to see if there's one where I have to set a new goal. Uh, okay, so I think this is okay. I'm getting so done. Okay, so the refined carbs still not a winning there, but I'm just looking for a. I'm checking what I can actually add here. Um, so this is basically just courses on mindful meditation that I want to do. That one's done. I'm busy with the self-compassion one at the moment. So here, for example, okay, one of these three would be the ones that I want to do. So Mindful eating is nice because it helps with like the carbs, but since I'm focusing a bit more on money stuff, I either want to do creativity or mindful money, and I'm thinking creativity because I am taking part in Camp NaNoWriMo, which for those of you who are not familiar with Camp NaNoWriMo, it's a challenge where you set yourself a goal for how much you want to write in a month, and then you pursue that goal. So I think creativity, I want to kind of refresh my creativity. So basically, looking at this now, I can go, okay, so this one is almost done. I think I have 2 more lessons left. So that's tomorrow and Monday. So on Tuesday, I can start with the creativity. So this is now where I go. Creativity, meditation. And I can go. Labels. It is for mental health and creativity. And is there anything else it relates to? No, I think I'm going to keep it to that one for now. And then I can give the due dates as Tuesday by 5 p.m. Save. There we go. It's in the list. And now, from there, I can basically go. I'm just going to look at this. Assuming, so basically what I do, just sorry, I'm just getting ahead of myself a little bit. Basically, I go through each and every single one of these things until I get either to enough stuff in the reminders column or I get to the end. So then what I do is, once we can say, let's pretend for a second that all of the sub projects have now been pulled into reminders. So basically, reminders are the sub projects of the sub projects. So, for example, mindfulness meditation is the sub project, but under that, there's still the various courses, the daily meditations, the stuff like that. Most of that is already scheduled. And then we can basically, I arrange by date, sort by dates, due dates. There we go. So, and yeah. And then what you can actually do is, there's another power up when you go to power ups. Effort impact, Miro. Let's see if I can add another. Oh no, wait, I'm lying. It's the wrong one. View. There, I forgot. Click there. And oh, it's not, you need to upgrade. I forgot about that. But basically, if you upgrade it, you can basically go to calendar view, and by going to calendar view, then you can actually see exactly how many things you need to do each day. The nice thing, though, with this for me is that I can actually go systematically, just look over all of these things and just plan out every single thing. And because I color coded this, if I don't want to pay extra for calendar view, I can simply go and put it into my Google Calendar. As you can see, all of them are, yes, that's my real name, Misha Girke. You will find me. But so RD management, creativity, expansion, faith, blah, 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 blah. All of this is color coded to exactly the same color coding as this, so that I can see at a glance what everything looks like. At one stage, I was a bit more rigorous with scheduling, but nowadays I just found that it kind of puts me out of my meditative awareness, if I can put it that way. So I kind of get into my head a little bit and stress too much about the things that I have to do. Oh, hey, RC Scott is here. Hi. Let me know if you have any questions, dear. But yeah, so the interesting thing about all this is that, oh, about the schedule. So with the scheduling, I just found that I just create myself, like I literally don't just put myself into a stressful frame of mind, which isn't conductive to or conducive to my well-being. So I kind of stopped with the calendar for now. I might one day get back to it, but for now, what I actually focus on is, in fact, this thing that I call engage senses and anchor. Why are you here? Hmm, sorry, just this one is my anchor for today, so I just want to check that there is another one. Sorry, duplicate. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to copy, create card. Just set the date for tomorrow because some of these things just automatically roll over into new ones. Okay, so engage senses and anchoring. Basically, because of the fact that I practice mindfulness meditation, I so created this thing that I call anchoring, which is just let me just show there. It's the 5 physical senses. So touch, sight, hearing, smell, taste, and taste. Sorry, and then what I call more emotional or spiritual things plus actions. So feel, move, be, plan, build, clear, rest, support, produce, and learn. And covering each of these, I try to do at least some of them every day because by doing some of them, I know that I'm actually also hitting my themes, but in different ways because I'm also it's just kind of also a way to introduce a sense of playfulness into um, into my day-to-day tasks because for example what I would do is let's say I want to go take a shower and touch comes up because I pick them at random. So if touch is the thing that gets randomly selected, then it's basically to focus, for example, on the feel of the temperature on your skin, or if I'm washing dishes and hearing comes up, then I'll play a podcast, something like that. And it just kind of makes it a little bit so that no, I don't. Basically, I'm trying to not do things by rote. Like I'm okay with routines, but I don't want to lose that sense of presence and awareness in my day to day. And yeah, that's all she wrote, ladies and gents. Um, I basically then from reminders, then every day, I actually at the moment, sometimes I pick like 7 things or 8 things that I want to focus on for the day. But because as you can see, some of these are, this is actually just a podcast I'm listening to. Um, this is work. This is just dancing to a feel good song, which is part of the move around more and do more cardio. Um, if you do just one song, it still gets the blood flowing. So it's a fun way to stuff like that. Some of these are big, some of these are small, and I kind of like to put a little combination of them in. So what I'll do is every hour I'll pick 3 or 4 and focus on those, and then the next hour, or actually 3 or 4, and then I will choose the anchor, and then I will apply, basically focus on the anchor while I'm doing the other things. Um, like let's say clear emails, PA, like that. Then I would say, let's say, apply. How would I apply sight? I actually applied sight already. How would I apply feeling? How I feel. So how would I be like aware of how I feel as I'm doing this? So that would be easy because this is like, how does reading an email make me feel? How does listening to a true crime podcast make me feel, etc., etc.? How does dancing make me feel? So that's basically how I just go about my day, and I find it useful. It's just a nice way to kind of maintain a sense of presence and awareness. Especially, I don't know if you do mindfulness meditation, but it's kind of important, and it just helps me to kind of stay. Oh, that's my bedtime alarm. Um, yeah, so that's basically just how I look about my day and stuff. So I'm going to actually just do that because I've already planned. Hey, I didn't do too bad. I don't try to hit all 15 because if I have, it takes 15 hours to get through all of them if I spend an hour on each one. And that's just a little bit insane. And I don't want to punish myself. So it's a balance thing. But yeah. But that's basically where things basically becomes fun for me because we went now, in other words, just to kind of recap, we went from improved quality of my life all the way through themes and sub projects. And now, sorry, I just want to move this because I move every card in this list to this one. Da, la, la. Yes, I know. Can you? Yes, thank you. All right. So we basically move from improved quality of life to sub projects to something I'm focusing on for the next whatever periods, 6 months, 3 months. We'll see how long it takes. To the day to day, and then even from the day to day to the hour. So even, and that's the funniest thing, that nothing here, you can actually see this. There's nothing here that's actually anything frivolous. And by that, what I mean is even dancing to a feel good song has to do with physical health, it has to do with mental health, it has to do with creativity, it has to do with recreation. And if I really wanted to, I can actually pull it back and I could actually say, okay, so this has to do when we're talking about physical health, we're talking about overall health, we're talking about physical health, we are talking about doing fun things, we are talking about performing arts, which is why we're dancing. You know, I can actually make a through line from how this dancing to a feel good song relates to sub projects and how those relate to the theme and how those relate to the life goal. And by that, it means that even the littlest things can potentially have some kind of meaning. And doing that, at least in my life, where I find that meaning is important to me, I find that is incredibly valuable. And that also takes me from the thing of existing towards I am in some form of control of my life and in control of where I want my life to go. And I am doing active things towards making my life goal, which is improving the quality of my life, a reality. And yeah, that's basically my entire spiel, ladies, gents, and other lovely, awesome, beautiful peoples. Um, if you have any questions, you can either leave me a comment now. I'll give it a couple of minutes still. Otherwise, just leave me a comment on this video after it's no longer live, and I will respond because I do keep track of these things. So I do watch for comments. And yeah, that's basically that's all she wrote. So let me just pop my face up here and just see. But yes, thanks to everyone who watched, and thank you either if you are watching in the future. Thank you for watching as well. And yeah, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always around to give advice or just explain things a bit better because I was really quick. I know, but I didn't want to make this video too long. Uh, hmm. Yeah, that's basically it. Yep, yep. Okay, so I'm not seeing any comments coming in further. So thanks again for joining in and thanks for watching and take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. Tell them that you love them because life is short and you never know what happens. And then I wish you all the best with the remaining 6 months of 2023. I will be back on Tuesday with a productivity stream. Uh, it will be a long one. I'm not sure how long. I think probably 6 hours minimum. So if you are doing some writing or anything else, it doesn't have to be writing related, you're more than welcome to join in and basically use Pomodoro sprints to get things done. And yeah, then I will see you guys then. And if you want to find me, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Wattpad, Ko-fi, Patreon. So if you guys want to financially support me, I'll never say no thank you. Um, you can find me at all of those places at / Misha Gerig. So like my name and surname, but without the space. And that's basically it. Love you all and take care. Bye.